Today, we're talking about one of the most common interview questions in the world. How do you handle pressure?
Oh, wow. Just hearing that question makes me nervous.
You're not alone, Tom. Many candidates feel confident during an interview until this question appears.
That's true. I remember an interview where everything was going well. Then suddenly the interviewer asked, "How do you handle pressure?"
And what happened?
My mind went completely blank.
I think many of our listeners can relate to that.
Because when people hear the word pressure, they immediately think about stress, deadlines, difficult bosses, or making mistakes.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Most candidates misunderstand this question.
Really?
Yes, they think the interviewer is asking, how stressed do you get?
But that's not the real question?
Not at all. The interviewer wants to know, can you stay calm when things become difficult? Can you solve problems when the pressure is high?
So they're testing our professionalism.
That's right. Because every job comes with pressure, employers want someone who focuses on solutions instead of panic.
And honestly, everyone feels pressure.
Exactly. The best candidates aren't people who never feel stressed. They're people who know how to manage it effectively.
That's a huge difference.
And today, we'll show you exactly how to answer this question naturally and confidently in English.
We'll share a real story, useful phrases, and a simple answer structure you can use right away.
So stay with us until the end because this lesson won't just help you pass an interview.
It will help you build the mindset employers are looking for.
Let's get started and discover what interviewers really want to hear. Tom, have you ever been under a lot of pressure at work?
Oh, yes, more times than I can count. But there was one situation that I remember very clearly.
Really? Tell us about it.
It happened last year when I was working on a project with my team. Everything was going according to plan. We had a comfortable deadline, everyone knew their responsibilities, and honestly, I thought it would be an easy project.
That sounds nice. So what went wrong?
Well, 3 days before the deadline, one of our biggest clients suddenly requested several major changes.
3 days before the deadline?
Exactly. And these weren't small changes. They affected almost every part of the project.
Wow, I can already feel the pressure.
Me too. When I read the client's email, my first thought was, there's no way we can finish this on time.
I think many of our listeners have had that feeling before.
Absolutely. My inbox was full. My phone kept ringing. My manager wanted updates. The client wanted answers. And the deadline wasn't moving.
That's a lot to deal with.
It was. For a few minutes, I felt completely overwhelmed.
That's a great word, everyone. Repeat after me. Overwhelmed.
When you're overwhelmed, you feel like you have too many problems and not enough time.
Exactly. So what did you do next?
Well, I realized that panicking wouldn't solve anything.
That's an important lesson right there.
So I took a deep breath and started focusing on what I could control.
I like that. Not what you couldn't control, what you could control.
Exactly. First, I wrote down every task that needed to be completed. Then I identified the most urgent items.
So you started prioritizing.
Right, because when you're under pressure, everything feels important. But in reality, some tasks matter more than others.
That's very true.
After that, I called a quick meeting with my team.
What did you discuss?
We reviewed the situation, divided the workload, and agreed on clear priorities. Instead of everyone trying to do everything, each person focused on one specific responsibility.
That sounds much more efficient.
It was. And another thing I learned was the importance of communication.
Tell us more.
A lot of people think they need to handle pressure alone, but that's not always the best solution. I kept my manager updated and communicated regularly with the client.
So nobody was left guessing.
Exactly. Everyone knew what was happening. everyone understood the challenges, and because of that, there were fewer misunderstandings.
I think that's a key point. Pressure becomes even worse when people stop communicating.
I completely agree.
So what happened in the end?
The project wasn't easy, but we finished it on time. The client was happy, my manager was happy, and most importantly, I learned something valuable.
What was that?
Pressure doesn't automatically create problems. The real problem is how we react to pressure.
That's powerful.
Because if you panic, pressure gets bigger. But if you stay calm and focus on solutions, pressure becomes manageable.
And that's exactly why interviewers ask this question.
You're right. They're not looking for someone who never feels stressed.
They're looking for someone who can stay professional when challenges appear.
Someone who can think clearly, communicate effectively, and keep moving forward.
I love that story, Tom. And listeners, pay attention to something important here. Tom didn't say he was fearless. He didn't say the situation was easy.
Not at all.
He simply showed a process. Stay calm, prioritize, communicate, focus on solutions.
And that's exactly what employers want to hear.
That's a great story, Tom. And I think our listeners can see that handling pressure isn't about being perfect. It's about having the right approach.
So in the next part, we're going to break down exactly what interviewers want to hear in your answer and why some responses impress employers while others don't.
And trust me, this can make a huge difference in your interview.
So stay with us because we're about to share a simple framework that will help you answer this question with confidence and sound more professional in English.
Now that we've heard Tom's story, let's talk about something very important. A lot of candidates have experienced pressure at work, but not everyone knows how to talk about it during an interview.
That's true. Sometimes people have great experiences, but they struggle to explain them clearly.
Exactly. And that's why many candidates miss the opportunity to impress the interviewer.
So let's start with a simple question. When an interviewer asks about handling pressure, what are they actually looking for?
Great question. First of all, they're not looking for someone who says, "I never feel stressed."
Because nobody believes that.
Pressure is normal. Stress is normal. Challenges are normal. The interviewer knows that. What they really want to know is how you respond when those situations happen.
So they're paying attention to our actions, not our emotions.
That's right. They're looking for evidence that you can stay professional when things become difficult.
What are some qualities employers want to see?
There are 4 big ones. Number 1, calmness. Can you stay calm when things don't go according to plan? Number 2, problem solving. Can you find solutions instead of focusing on problems? Number 3, prioritization. Can you identify what matters most when time is limited? And number 4, communication. Can you keep people informed instead of disappearing under pressure?
I love that list because those are skills that apply to almost every job.
Whether you're working in customer service, marketing, finance, technology, or education, employers value these qualities.
So how can candidates show those qualities in their answers?
The easiest way is to use a simple 3-step structure.
I like simple. Let's hear it.
Step 1. Describe the situation. Briefly explain the challenge or pressure you faced.
Don't spend 5 minutes telling the whole story.
Keep it short and relevant. Step 2. Explain what you did. This is the most important part.
Because this is where you demonstrate your skills.
Right. Talk about the actions you took. Did you prioritize tasks? Did you communicate with your team? Did you create a plan? Did you stay organized?
Show the process.
Then comes step 3. Explain the result.
What happened in the end?
Did the project succeed? Did you meet the deadline? Did you solve the problem? Interviewers love seeing positive outcomes.
So, situation, action, result.
A simple structure that works almost every time.
Let's practice some useful phrases our listeners can use.
Great idea. Listeners, repeat after me. I stay calm under pressure.
Again,
I stay calm under pressure.
Another useful phrase, I focus on finding solutions.
That's a strong one. Employers love solution-oriented people.
Here's another, I prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance.
That sounds very professional.
And one more, I communicate clearly with my team to ensure everyone stays aligned.
Wow, that's a phrase that could instantly make you sound more experienced.
Notice something important. None of these phrases talk about panic. None of them talk about complaining.
They're all focused on action.
That's the key. When candidates make the mistake of talking only about stress, they sound overwhelmed. When they talk about solutions, they sound capable.
That's a huge difference.
It really is. And here's one final tip. Always use a real example if possible.
Because stories are more believable than general statements.
Anyone can say, I'm good under pressure, but when you share a real experience, you prove it.
And that's what makes your answer memorable.
So remember, stay calm, focus on actions, share a real example, and finish with a positive result.
If you can do those 4 things, you're already ahead of many candidates.
Absolutely. Now that we've covered what employers want to hear and how to structure your answer, it's time to put everything into practice.
And in the next part, we're going to do a complete interview role play.
You'll hear a strong sample answer, learn why it works, and discover how you can adapt it for your own interviews.
So stay with us, because this is where everything starts coming together.
All right, Tom. We've talked about what interviewers want to hear. We've discussed the structure. Now it's time to see what a strong answer actually sounds like.
Perfect, because I think this is the part many listeners have been waiting for.
And listeners, here's a little challenge for you. As you listen to Tom's answer, try to identify the 3 parts we talked about earlier: the situation, the action, and the result.
Let's see if they can spot them.
All right, Tom. Imagine I'm the interviewer. Are you ready?
Ready?
Great. So here's the question. Can you tell me about a time when you had to work under pressure?
Certainly. I believe pressure is a normal part of professional life. One example was during a project where our client requested several major changes just a few days before the deadline. To handle the situation, I stayed calm and focused on prioritizing the most urgent tasks. I organized the workload, communicated regularly with my team, and kept the client updated on our progress. As a result, we completed the project on time and successfully met the client's expectations.
Excellent answer, Tom. Simple, clear, professional.
And most importantly, it's based on a real experience.
Now, let's break down why this answer works. First, Tom doesn't spend too much time describing the problem.
That's a mistake many candidates make. They spend 2 minutes talking about how stressful everything was.
Right, but interviewers aren't interested in listening to a long list of problems. They're interested in how you handled them.
That's why I focused more on the actions I took.
And that's the strongest part of the answer. You showed organization, you showed communication, and you showed problem solving.
All qualities employers are looking for.
And then you finished with a positive result.
Because every good story needs an ending.
Now let's compare that with a weaker answer.
Oh, this should be interesting.
Imagine someone says, I get stressed sometimes, but I try my best and eventually everything works out.
That's not terrible, but it's very vague.
There's no example, no action, no evidence.
The interviewer has no idea what actually happened.
That's why specific examples are so powerful. They make your answer believable.
And they help you stand out from other candidates.
Absolutely. Remember, your goal isn't to sound perfect. Your goal is to sound capable.
And capable people don't just talk about pressure, they talk about solutions.
I love that. Listeners, repeat after us. I stay calm and focus on solutions.
Again, I stay calm and focus on solutions.
That's the mindset employers want to hear. And in just a moment, we'll wrap everything up with a few final tips, common mistakes to avoid, and one simple piece of advice that can make a big difference in your next interview.
So don't go anywhere. We're almost at the finish line.
Wow, Tom, we've covered a lot today.
We really have. And the good news is that answering questions about pressure doesn't have to be difficult.
Let's do a quick review. Today, we learned that interviewers aren't asking whether you feel stressed.
They're asking how you respond when challenges appear.
Can you stay calm? Can you solve problems? Can you keep moving forward under pressure?
We also learned a simple formula: situation, action, result.
And remember, employers want to hear about your actions, not just your stress.
Focus on solutions, communication, and positive results.
Now, we'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest lesson you learned from today's episode?
Share your answer in the comments below. We'd love to read it.
And if this episode helped you, don't forget to subscribe Focus English with CC channel and turn on notifications.
We create new English lessons to help you succeed in interviews and grow your confidence at work.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and remember,
Confidence comes from preparation.
and every interview is a chance to improve.
We'll see you in the next episode, where we'll help you master another common interview question.
See you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.